This one's interesting. This one. Gen Z discovers the home cafe trend, then proceeds to go broke. I am incredibly confused what that means. Does that mean Zoomers cannot... Does that mean Zoomers cannot make coffee at home and they usually just go around and make it, like, and they usually just get it from somewhere else? What does that mean? It's by the way, by It'sAGundam. Anyways, well, we'll see what they have discovered.
It's a wild time to be alive. In the age where AI is on the edge of becoming the Terminator or sex bots.
Hello, handsome.
Where hedge funds are buying up all the homes so we can all own
The six bots. The smasher clanker.
own nothing and like it. The dollar is weaker. The economy is wheezing to death on the soon-to-be non-existent Social Security. And in the midst of all this uncertainty, Gen Z can no longer afford luxury brand coffee. Some brave TikTok users decided to make coffee at home. And it has now led to the, and I quote, fourth wave coffee movement. They act as if they've discovered fire.
This sounds like feminism. Fourth wave coffee. What the? Okay, something's off. Something's not normal here. Why is my generation so stupid?
I guess the Folgers commercials from the early 2000s were just a fever dream.
The best part of waking up.
See, it's also insane somehow that people have discovered juicers again. Like, that's something special. I don't mean like electric ones, but right, manual ones.
It's Folgers in your...
Of course, this phenomenon has led to news articles covering another nothing burger in our dreary lives.
Gen Z coffee lovers discover new way to combat insane Java prices with new home cafe trend.
Home cafe trend. Home cafe trend. I don't get it. I do not get it. I don't. How is this a trend? This should be normal. And the worst part, it'd probably be cheaper too.
Gen Z splits the atom by discovering coffee filters. Will the miracles never cease?
It's out with overpriced oat milk lattes and in with DIY coffee culture. Gen Z TikTokers are ditching the expensive morning coffee runs and instead transforming their kitchens into cozy custom coffee shops, complete with menus, pastries, and even barista uniforms in an attempt to save money.
See, you could okay. Okay. Don't just make the fucking coffee. You don't need the extra stuff. They make the fucking coffee. Just make the fucking coffee. You do not need, like, to turn your kitchen into a custom coffee shop. What is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you? You could just save money by just making coffee and that's it. Why did you need all that? Why do you need all that extra stuff? Why do you need fucking menus and pastries and barista uniforms? Just make coffee.
Hey.
Spoiler alert, they don't.
We are truly in the death throes of late-stage capitalism when Gen Z makes their own coffee, but are so desperate for the illusion of wealth, they even dress up like baristas to serve themselves. God help us all. You think I'm joking though, but some of these people are posting on TikTok that they are recycling Starbucks plastic cups, aka reusing them. So when they're out and about around the town, they have brand recognition. People who can't balance checkbooks need to have brands. It's a fresh kind of madness.
I'm losing my mind.
Why? Why do you need... I think it's a nice hobby. It's like... The problem isn't that, like, if you do it as, like, a hobby, right? Because it's not it's like a trend, right? The moment this doesn't get views anymore, it's gone, right? It just disappears, which is why this is not a hobby, it's a trend. Like, a hobby is something that would consist to exist, that continuously exist. This one doesn't. This one doesn't. This disappears in like 2 or 3 months, and then nobody thinks about it again.
There is literally so much here between the gay articles that praise this crap and enough TikToks to drive any man with testosterone levels over 216 crazy, so we're just going to jump into it. The first video encapsulates the fate that awaits all single, childless women, who will make up 45% of our population.
Recent data predicts that 45% of women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be single and childless, but by the time 2030 rolls around, the number of single women in the US is expected to rise by 1.2% every year. That means, that's interesting. That's interesting. Boys, there's enough on the market. They are broken. They need love. It is time. Single homies, by the year 2030, you have a mission. Get that 44-year-old single woman. Anyways.
By 2030, none of them have a dress size in the single digits, and they all have BMIs in the triple digits. There's one man lying about the floor like a dog. He's a human pug, doing tricks for women who have cankles. There, but for the grace of God go I. Since this video is copywritten music, for tunes no one under the age of 100,000 gives a about, you'll have to make deal with me explaining what the living hell is going on. And it's a nightmare.
Baby, I compare you to a kiss.
Why? Why did you throw in DSP for this one? Horrible. Oh, hell no. Yes, you will enjoy the 44-year-olds, if you would like it or not.
From a rose on the grave. The more I get to you, the strangers in bloom. Yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave. But I can't hit those anymore. I used to be able to sing that. You get the hell out!
I turned my apartment into a cafe and went into debt for social media posting. The room is loaded with an obscene amount of pastries.
Are you actually selling those? Are you actually selling those? Are they? If she's selling those, I could see it. But if she's not selling those, goodness gracious.
There is no way this woman has enough friends and the odd neighbor that rolls in to sell all of these. It's a weird TikTok LARP where food is most certainly wasted. And somehow this...
Oh yeah, she's not selling it. She's not. Oh my goodness, that is so... No! That is so much good food! How dare you!
Own Starbucks.
Oh, there are soy lattes, huh? That explains the men. Look at them. If you call those males. This shit is more scripted than a wrestling match written by Vince McMahon featuring Logan Paul.
Yeah, feed those dead carbs to your fat sisters. One of them has an ass so wide it puts a Toyota Tundra crew cab to shame. In the beginning, you see her laying down a carpet on the floor. This is psychological shit crap and a little bit of practicality. You'll notice that she spills some of her ingredients. Clearly, she's doing this because it's a trend on TikTok. You notice that all these women use brown paper men.
These women just discovered coffee. These women just... They are acting like cavemen. Actually discovering fire. They are acting like they just discovered homemade coffee. Something that I do on a daily basis. They just discovered. These are truly American women. What is this? And then they want to... Gen Z is really weird when it comes to brands. I'll be so for real. This is so odd. And like lifestyle is just so weird, dude. I don't understand.
Menus on a white backdrop. It's so strange to see people act like creative robots, following the...
I'll say said like, right? They said like, because they don't have money, right? I think a coffee in Starbucks is way more cheap than what you're doing here. What they're doing here. A coffee at Starbucks is significantly cheaper than what they are doing here. You cannot tell me that in any way, shape, or form.
The rigid guidelines set in place by the Riz gods, while pretending they're so clever and original and free.
Wait, what did that say? It was always the women and above all the young ones who were the most bigoted adherents of the party, the swallowers of slogans, the amateur spies and nosers out of unorthodoxy. George Orwell. Interesting.
While pretending they're so clever and original and free.
Older generations have been brewing their Java at home for years, so while it might not look like anything new to some, this trend isn't just about frugality.
How is there any frugality? They're spending hundreds of dollars on pastries.
It doesn't make any sense. Any sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Again, they're spending way more money on this than they need to, while saying they're fucking broke. Maybe I don't understand it because I live in poverty for most of my days. So maybe I don't get it.
Also about creativity, fun, and bringing people together.
Well, shit on me. Gen Z figured out how to have a get-together. Haven't heard of those before. Can't.
Gen Z discovers touching grass. Gen Z discovers talking to real humans.
Wait till they discover barbecuing and how they will revolutionize that with soy beef and sustainable chicken wings.
Yes!
It'll be fun, creative, and bringing people together with some frugality. Take that, KFC. I only spent $1,000 to make a 45-second video.
Let's host a Saturday coffee shop at home. First thing I made was a big menu to hang on the wall and
White wall, brown paper. Haven't seen that 20 times today. Carol and Ale? I guess his name is Al, but they spelled it with an E? Try to tell me America isn't great when women in this country can LARP that they have a cafe on the weekend for fun.
And say that they're broke at the same time. And say that they're broke on the same time. You better, after this LARP, donate all of this food that you do not eat. I dare you, woman. I will find out where you live at this point. I hope that she donated the food that she made. I'll be so for real. If she didn't, I'ma lose my mind.
Literally cosplaying as baristas for shits and giggles, while real baristas are trying to form a union so they can go on strike against Starbucks.
And to push for improved wages, benefits, and staffing. Starbucks has not acted in accordance with the path forward that they agreed to last year, and we deserve a fair contract.
She is stunning and brave.
then I used my printer to make stickers with our logo to personalize our coffee mugs and cups. Then it was time to set up the coffee station with different syrups, cups, mugs, and coffee to have everything on hand. We had a mix of homemade and store-bought coffee shop goods like tarts, croissants, cakes, quiche, yogurt, and bread.
I can only imagine how much money they spent on this dumb shit. So the wife could post on TikTok like a 12-year-old giving unrestricted access to her father's credit card. The wildest thing is they didn't even make everything. They just ran to a store and bought most of these pastries.
And I took on waitress duty.
Yeah, obviously. Women baking. Women cannot bake or cook in my generation, sorry. It's just true. Most can't. So yeah, it does make sense that they would be able to do this.
To take all the orders for the barista, aka my husband.
Oh, nice. This is totally her idea. And the husband has to make all the drinks.
You know, it reminds me of that phrase, happy wife, happy life. No, it should be happy wife, you have no life.
The best-selling drink was iced latte, but he also made a lot of Americanos, cappuccinos, and pour-overs. Of course, we had flowers and Wi-Fi, and we created a drink station for the guests with different types of milk and OJ. It was such a fun morning with friends and family, and we can't wait to do it again.
This video is nothing but excess. These people blew a ton of cash so the wife could make a 41-second video to follow an online trend for her own ego, honest to God. You know this is about her. I don't think the husband woke up one day and said, honey, I've...
About a minute. So all of this for about a minute of content on TikTok. Nah, bro. I'm
think
done.
I need to be a barista this weekend.
Stuff like this is why men don't want to get married. Not only can she take half of your stuff and your kids if you have any, but she can turn you into a goddamn Starbucks barista on a whim for TikTok.
Forced Starbucks sissification.
Mix those drinks, you little monkey. That's just the beginning of this. There's literally countless videos, and there may be more, so be ready. Oh, crap. I forgot to tell people to subscribe to this shit.
True and real. Anyways, Stop doing these weird out trends. You are not the article saying that like buying coffee is just too expensive, so they're making it at home and then like doing trends with it. Sorry, that is a fucking lie. That is a fucking lie. You're not making coffee at home because you're broke. At least the people here in these videos. You're making coffee so you can show off. That's literally it. You just discovered something that probably is probably in Europe as normal as driving a car, and you're acting like it's special when it's not, and you're wasting a ton of food, and you're wasting a ton of money for a minute video on TikTok for a trend. I cannot do this anymore. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.